friends, Mrs. Taima here. Welcome to part 1 of your reading lesson today. Today with Miss Spears, you will be thinking about how you can answer the question, what does looking at words and illustrations reveal to us or show us? You will read a section of the text with Miss Spears, and then you will look at the illustration that goes along with that section of the text. Then you are going to record a Flipgrid telling your teacher how the words and illustrations, so the pictures and the words, helped you imagine in your brain a scene from The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. You're going to record that by going to this next slide where it says click here to record a Flipgrid telling your teacher how the words and illustrations help you imagine the scene from the section of the text, The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind, that Miss Spears read in the video. Now, it is your turn to listen with Miss Spears to find out how you can connect words from the story with pictures from the story to help you better understand what you are reading. I will see you back soon for part 2.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to Wit and Wisdom in Sync. My name is Tanisha Spears, and I'm excited to jump into our lesson. But before we do, let's make sure you have your materials ready. For this lesson, you will need handout 28A, which is The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind evidence organizer. You'll need your Wit and Wisdom in Sync journal and a pencil. We will also be using assessment 28A, but I'll show that to you on the screen. Pause the video now if you need to gather your materials. In previous work, you had a chance to think about what was happening in the text, The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. Today, you'll continue closely examining the text to think about how the words and the illustrations work together. You'll also think about how to use sensory and feelings words. But before we get back into the text, let's think about the question that has been framing our work while we've been exploring The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. And that question is, how does William use the powerful force of the wind? So today you'll continue to explore how William used the powerful force of the wind to help his village. Now you're going to think more about how William was able to produce electricity for his village. I want you to listen to this sentence from page 11. Listen carefully. Windmills can produce electricity and pump water. Look at the word produce. What does produce mean in this sentence? Think. Share with your learning partner what you think the word produce means in this sentence. Produce means to make. So when we say that windmills produce electricity and pump water, we mean that windmills make electricity and pump water. Now, the question that will frame our learning for today is, what does looking at the words and illustrations reveal to us? I want you to think, how do the words and illustrations work together when we read books? I'll ask it one more time. How do the words and illustrations work together when we read books? Think. Share your idea with a learning partner or just share aloud. You may have said it, the words and the illustrations can provide different information, and they work together to help readers better understand the book. And the illustrations can help us as readers understand what is in the words. All right, so first you're going to focus on the text, and then you'll examine the illustrations. Okay, friends, now what you're going to do is you are going to listen to me read part of the text aloud, but while I'm reading, I want you to close your eyes and listen for words that help you imagine the scene. Are you ready? Close your eyes and listen. Like always, it came. First a breeze, then a gusting gale. The tower swayed and the blades spun round. Okay, open your eyes. Now what I want you to do is share the scene that you just imagined based on the words with your learning partner, or just share aloud. Did you share it? I really wish I could have heard what you shared. What did you imagine? Did you imagine a gusting gale? Now, gusting means a sudden and brief rush of wind, and gale means a very strong wind. Okay, so now what I'd like you to do is use what you have learned about wind to carefully act out what being in the middle of a gusting gale might look like. Are you ready? Act it out. Did you pretend that you were feeling very strong winds? Or maybe you imagine how that powerful wind makes the windmill's blades turn. Let's take a look at the Sensory Words anchor chart that we've used before. And I am going to add words that could describe the gusting gale to the chart. Listen as I review. For sight, we see the tower swaying and the blades turning. For touch, we can feel the strong winds. Okay, now you are going to have an opportunity to look at the illustrations to see how that gusting gale is shown. Look closely at the illustration on the screen. Now think, how did the illustrations add to the description? Share with your learning partner. I really wish I could have heard the things that you shared. You may have said, the blue lines in the illustrations help you imagine how the wind pushed the windmill blades. You could have also said that maybe the illustration helped you better understand how a windmill works. Or maybe, just maybe, you thought about how the sensory words help you imagine the scene and the illustrations help you get an even better idea of what it would be like to be there. Now, what you are going to do is you are going to explain by writing or recording how the words and illustrations help you imagine the scene. I'm going to say it again. You are going to write or record how the words and illustrations help you imagine the scene. Are you ready? Pause the video now to write or record. If you need to, pause the video to stretch or take a quick break. When you're done, unpause the video.